Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, I've recently been asked to be sort of a representative, to at least have a voice in a grouping of people that are involved in this international water level on the Great Lakes water system. You know, we talk all the time about how the water levels in the St. Lawrence River can affect our lives in so many ways. Not just fishermen, not just bringing tournaments up here and making sure that these people have a place to put their boats in and make sure that they have good fishing here in the river, but for all the people that live along the river. But it's a much more complicated issue than we might think. And I want to pass on to you something that I wasn't as aware of as I've become over the last few days in talking with one of my friends downstate who has a camp or a beautiful home, I should say, on Cayuga Lake. So I was talking to him. I said, Dave, you know, how is the water level there right now? I said, it's the highest in the St. Lawrence that I've seen it in a year. And he says, well, Cayuga Lake is really high right now. But he says they can't, and you know, there's dams for the water outflow of Cayuga Lake, but their dams are not letting that water out because if that water comes out of Cayuga Lake, it's going to go someplace else. And where it goes is eventually finds its way into Oneida Lake. And then that water level, that water table from Oneida Lake comes out of there and it flows into the river systems down into Lake Ontario. But wait, the water level in Cayuga Lake is determined by Seneca Lake, which flows into Cayuga Lake. So right now the water level in Seneca Lake is very high, and they can't let that out. It's high because this time of the year with snow melt and rain and so forth, it always brings the water level out up in our water systems. We haven't had the severe summer heat to evaporate water and to take the water level down. But it's important to remember that the water that we see passing us in the St. Lawrence River not only comes from all the Great Lakes, but from all the water inputs to the Great Lakes water system. And so our water system here in New York State is so interconnected that the water from Seneca Lake, which is our biggest Finger Lake, flows into Cayuga Lake, which flows into Oneida Lake, which flows into the rivers, like the Oswego River that enters into Lake Ontario. And so the Seneca River, it's a massive water system. And for us to think that one is isolated from the other is really a mistake in overview and judgment. So as I look at this water system in the St. Lawrence River, and I think of what input I can have in any regulations or any activities that might regulate this water, I realize that sometimes the situation and the questions have a much broader aspect than what we first consider. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.